Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We've got a lot to cover in this video. A lot's going to get jam-packed into video number 3. What you guys are going to see here soon is we actually pattern tile out quite a bit. Mother Nature has set in on us here. We didn't quite get the tree removal job done, but we're going to cover everything in this video. So buckle in. We got a lot of work to do. Let's get after it. Colt and I are cleaning up where this little tree grove was. Hold on, in the middle of the field. Let me show you guys here. My window's kind of getting dirty. Colt's taking off. Just kind of doing a little bit of a pre-cut for myself. Water's going to come down the hill here this way, and I'm going to build like a little farm over kind of bump terrace here. So my goal is just to get my pipe pretty deep here, and already have the dirt formed out for me, and then just piling it up here and there and everywhere, so I can just push it in after the pipe's in, instead of doing this part after the pipe's in. A little bit of an experiment on this part here, but I think it'll work out in my favor, honestly. I really do. So I've been on the phone here today so far, about noon now. But so might look kind of rough, but see, we did a cutout here. Now we'll put the pipe in here, which we've done a pre-rip now too. So most likely the inlet will end up being somewhere right about here, and then you'll just have, see where I've piled the dirt, just basically a nice little bump, so that it just is kind of like a, you can just farm over it, kind of like a little ridge. That's the goal for this. But we need to make another connection. We're 2 healer in today. One's being a lazy turd. That's you. Get out. Wanting to hang out in the pickup truck all day. But we need to make a splice here. Okay, some of you are probably really confused on what's going on here. This is episode number 3 of a drone project. First episode there, I give you guys kind of an overview of what we're going to do. Also, Colt tries to sell a used Christmas tree. We finally get that last load of tile delivered there in episode 1. Colt tells you why you should hire S&S Soil Works. We then roll into, of course, showing a beaver how to actually properly take a tree down and somehow get it carried off. That one really kind of surprised me there. Then episode number 2, we awaken the 535 quad track to start putting some pipe in the ground. Colt and I have a really intelligent conversation about up is up. I show you guys what the mains that we have put in the ground. In that time, we learn how the left and right trick. And then on top of that, I chatted with you guys quickly about FlowX and what it can do to help you have a professionally designed drainage system for your farm. All right, we're strung out down to one last main. Actually, we might need to put in a little more 6-inch, which we'll talk about here shortly. Colt's getting those hooked up here. First gear. Some of these pulls have actually been surprisingly kind of tough, but I'm going into some clay. So they've 535, she's been earning her keep here on these last couple mains. But we got this one pre-ripped. We'll take her on up the hill here. I think this is like an 800 footer. 800 footer. 800 footer. Does that make sense? Is that right? Is that grammatically correct? But there you go. Kind of quick look at teleslope. There's my line that's going in. That little bouncing around that you see is the correction that's happening on the plow. So if you see like 0.1, 0.1, 0.2, that's tenths of an inch. So, you know, take an inch and then divide that by 10 on how far that's off. So that's pretty impressive. We're just letting her go on up the hill. Right now we're at 3.5% grade. Depth's 40 inches right here. She's gonna get deep. I'm gonna hit my traction control together. My diff locks. See, there's a wash here along this waterway. We're gonna try and prevent that from getting any worse. And probably fix it up so that it's not there. Stop this water, which is up here by the entrance. I'm calling this the entrance main. I'm creative, I know. So I think the rest of it will be able to, if I can rework this waterway, like the mouth of the waterway, so the water actually gets into the waterway, I think the rest of this hill will hold itself together nicely. If not, I can stick another riser in. So that's always a possibility, and build another terrace. I actually had to pre-rip this one twice. I was looking backwards instead of forwards, and I fell in on myself. Went out a little wide. So curves are, they pull harder. So you can hear her bite a little bit, chuckle. From what I found, as long as it's not slimy on top or completely and utterly saturated, and then as long as I'm not going super deep into like some gnarly tight clay, or like I'm talking like brown clay, I'm doing okay. And when I get into the gray clay or the white stuff, she'll start to struggle there. And like, as in that will pull down on the tractor, but I mean, that's extremely tough pulling. Other than that, she's got all the horsepower she needs. She's got weight, as long as I can get the traction to the ground. And like you've probably heard me talk about in this, in my plowing videos, is it's not about the weight, the horsepower, it's about the weight and the traction that gets her done. At 10, 8:15, stop install, pitch my plow up, plow's up out of the ground, turn my float off, lift the plow up, 815 feet, installed. No, you're not, you got to pull it. So a good rule of thumb is for these type of connections, yep, touch the back of the hole and go past about 2 feet. So our mains are all in, and what we're now doing is a submain. It's a short little 160-foot submain that we're gonna tie this pattern into. We're gonna cut these strings, but we need to leave them because we're gonna retie the rest of the 6 up if there is any left, okay? So just cut the strings and then leave them. So the submain will tie the laterals into, because, yeah, project expanded. We're gonna put in some laterals on this piece. I'm excited about that. I think that'll help this place out a lot. Run out this last little bit, and then it's time to switch the boot on the plow. Got them all cut? The dogs just own this place. That's where the dogs do. We just live in the dog world. That's it.
Got you with the tape. Yeah. Professional tape job, if I say so myself. Bandit. Stay out of the truck. There's my dog that I've been looking for. Quit acting like Bernie Sanders, looking for a handout all the time. You need a little exercise, you're looking chubby. I can say that, she's mine. I'll tell you what's nice about a warm day here in southern Iowa with the wet, clay that we have here. Wouldn't really call that black dirt, but the worms are just everywhere. I don't know if you're into eating worms or not, but protein all over these clay little balls everywhere. Like you dig through that pile, you get a belly full.
Head over there by my truck, we'll take that boot off.
Why do we have to change the boot? Why do we not pull
so
4 inch through the 6 inch?
For the support of the tile. So what it is you need to like support the tile in enough spots. So if you look at this shear, right? Good question for YouTube too. So if you look at this shear, when it goes through the ground, if you look at the shear when it goes through the ground, it goes through like that, but makes a profile like this here, which then when you take your tile, that circle, it has support here on the bottom and there, so it's supported in 3 spaces. So it's to support the tile so the tile doesn't crush. Other than that, we just do it for fun.
Good answer.
Which another thing that we can chat about is the zero deflection. So this is called a ZD plow. So Soil Max Gold Diggers Stealth ZD. Now these guys, they've repainted them black, or they're now painting them black, which looks really darn nice. But the ZD is the zero deflection, which means that as the pitch changes, so the shank changes, it goes kind of in a, like a rocking chair style deal, is that as it changes, there's the pivot pin, so that it is always, the exit's always underneath the pin, so that it doesn't like lift up, like, if that makes sense. So if your boot is like way back here and you need to pitch down, it's gonna lift the back of your boot up. And then, or if you need to pitch up, it's gonna push down on your boot, and that can crush your pipe. So realistically, as this one changes pitch as it goes through the ground, it doesn't have a chance to pinch the pipe. So that's why it's called a zero deflection, which is also why these are kind of different than other plows on the market, which in my opinion makes them the best pull type plow on the market. The other thing is about these plows is if you actually look at the shank here, the shank has like this curve to it, so it's actually got like a lifting motion. So the soil wants to flow up and over versus having a straight shank going through the ground, which makes them pull easier. Look at that, you got knowledge you didn't know you needed. Now you do.
I feel better already about it.
I think you do. All right, let's put a boot on and quit for today. Or
Start with here or start with that?
Start with the shank. Yep, start with that. Gonna have to knock the rust off of this bad boy. I think mine needs to come up. And we got any wiggle room up towards you?
All right.
There. I think that's square. Sorry for the close up. Now you need the side shields.
Got it put together. We're taking it off backwards from how we.
Yep. Tile day. It's supposed to be another really nice day today. I got my bibs on. I think I got them on for my own comfort or mental, whatever. But we're gonna let her warm up for a second here, and then I need to go scratch in the lines of where we're gonna have all our start holes. Dig start holes this morning, and then I think we got around 20,000 feet of pipe that we can put in. We'll see how far we can get. See you in the traffic cab. Colt showed up a fuel, but basically all I'm doing is pre-scratching in the lines, using the plow. I do have a rig to do this, it's just not here. And I would normally want to do it with it, but timing wise, this is going to be faster for me. So that's why we're doing this. Bandit, stop whining, please. Colt's here, I know. Turtle's probably here too. You're excited. Now we have all the start holes, or not the start holes, I wish we had all the start holes dug. Now that we have all the lines scratched in to mark where the start holes are, it's time to start digging the start holes. And it'll be time to see if I'm gonna like this machine for doing what we gotta do a lot of with it. So we throw the dirt out to the left because the pipe comes in on the right. That way you're not fighting over a big old pile of your start hole dirt. Give yourself room to work. See if you can prod the pipe, see if you can find it.
Huh?
See if you can see where the pipe is.
Right there, you got to it.
Just expose it a little bit with the shovel. We're good. So as far as I'm concerned, we can jump back up in the air here and give you guys kind of a little overview of where the project is right now. What we're looking at, and we'll pan around here, is that curved terrace, or the horseshoe terrace, what I've heard. You can actually see the little submain there that we did off to the side. We are putting laterals onto those mains. It's okay to do that. There's the terrace on the back. These two runs right here to the big waterway, you guys didn't see on camera. They went really easily and did what they were supposed to do, so wasn't a lot of footage of this. These are the two mains over here kind of making the Y. Are the ones that you guys just saw get put in, the entrance terrace, and then what I'm calling Tree Islands terrace. We can jump up and look at that real quick. You can see where I cut a lot of that dirt back to go through that little mound there where the terrace is going to be. We wrap up here, and then as we get actually to the large view, you guys can see what's been scratched in of what we're going to do for the pattern tile, what Colt and I were going to try and tackle for the day, and what you guys will see actually get done. We pan around. It's really coming together really well here. Don't get a whole lot of footage of the first day of installing tile. Like I said, with two of us, I think we do put like 14,000 feet in this day. So that's a lot of tile for two-man crew. Dug all those start holes. Got it going, but now I guess it's probably time to jump on back down into the tractor and to actually get started on pulling some of that pipe. There, yeah, you can see the layout of what we've now started. Got to get Colt's feet under him. First time he's ever done this with me. We're probably 2,000 feet into patterning right now. Two-man crewing it. Colt's stringing, cutting, and then I'm back and surveying backwards. Or I'm surveying back, and then starting us out. So he hasn't even got to cut off the reel yet, and I'm starting to pull it already. So it'll clip along. I don't know if we've got enough start holes dug yet. I think we'll have enough for today, but I think I'll still have some extra pipe, and I'll dig a couple more start holes. But we got a good start on it, or we will have a good start on it, and then we'll stop and go get ourselves some lunch. I think lunchtime is after we get this first roll off. So we're probably 11,000, 12,000 feet in for the day. In a good rhythm, in a real good rhythm. We got the rhythm, is that a bobsled team song? Anyways, we've went from 3-inch pipe to 4-inch pipe. We are probably just gonna pull out the start holes that we have dug for the day. We're gonna be able to pull some more start hole, or pull more than what we have dug. That was just a guesstimate on my part. We're probably gonna have 4,000 feet left that we can pull, but we're gonna make all the connections here in a little while. That way everything's connected up, and we're as dry as they are. We could probably leave them overnight, but we're gonna make all our connections. It would be nice to have somebody connecting right now for us, but 2-man crew and 13,000 feet, probably going to be closer to 14,000 feet plus 15,000 feet today. 2-man crew. That's not too shabby. I don't know if there's anything much more island than that, you know, a beautiful sunrise on a December morning over a hot and fresh Casey's breakfast pizza box. Yep, on a shaky cell phone camera. But got dark on us last night, and we didn't get all our fittings done. We've got the horsepower today. We're about to the field. We'll eat some breakfast with the guys. And brother-in-law is showing up to help here today. So we'll see if we can't get the rest of this pipe in the ground and the rest of our fittings in, and have the tile in and be down to dirt work and tree removal parts of this project. Putting in the hours here.
Over there to that first one we did?
Yeah.
Let's start this way.
Oh, can. I was bringing him a GoPro on a platter. That's all I knew he wanted.
Do you have a 3-inch connection? Like a splice? Yeah.
Why, we got one too short.
Just over there. There's one that's just barely too short. Good morning. It's another beautiful day, and well, we're not really in the metropolitan area of Jerome City, Iowa, but if they would have had a water tower or a flag in town or anything like that, it's just right there. You'd be able to see it. Matter of fact, big city of Jerome, I don't even think they might have a post office, but I really don't think so. But anyway, today we're in the trenches, quite literally, and we're going to be making connections on all of this pipe that we've put in all of our main lines. So we've drug yesterday, you saw, we put in the laterals, I believe is what the proper terminology is for these lines, that were 3-inch until we ran out of 3-inch. Now they're 4-inch, so, or some of them are 4-inch, I should say. And then now, we tried to get them put in yesterday. I had to leave early due to my personal life. My real money making business, not sitting in a hole with a bin. But anyway, we had to leave early, so we quit last night, just about dark, and only got a couple holes filled. So luckily the rain held off. It is supposed to, I believe, rain today. Don't really look like it right now, and it doesn't smell like it, but you never know. We're rocking and rolling right here, getting these connections put in this morning. We're not blinding them in with shovels because the holes from our 48-inch bucket are a little excessive. So we've got really good pile of loose black dirt over there that we are getting with the skid loader. He's bringing it over, he's blinding it in. His brother-in-law Brown is kind of holding the pipe down in place, and kind of making it to where this is happening pretty fast. Matter of fact, it's happening so fast I only got 2 holes left. Man, that's nice. Also not caught on camera that I really dropped the ball. This was my fault, and I apologize dearly. And Brown there, he stepped into a hole and he ate it. You ever seen a guy 1 foot hit the hole and 1 foot hit the back of his head, and he landed on the other end of the hole? Pretty impressive for a big dude. Pretty impressive, I gotta say.
Is right here. That's where the pipe's gonna be, and it's probably gonna be about 6 inches deeper than I'm at right now. But you just gotta shove that probe in there a little bit. And the reason it's long is so you don't have to jump down in there every single time, but when you hit it, it should be like a hollow thud, like that. Thump. Yep, that's it right there. So then what you do is put your fingers down there at the bottom, pull it out. There you go. I got about 8 inches to it. If I had a ditching bucket on, I can just do this by myself, but these teeth will grab that pipe like it did over there, and when it grabs that pipe, you got a lot more work to do. But a ditching bucket that's just a blade, it'll go across the top of it, so I can just like skim about 1 inch off at each time, and it'll just skim right across the top of that pipe. But this will grab it and yank it up. You see it?
Yep.
Did I catch it? There you go. Just expose it a little bit with a shovel. That's good to go. Okay, so our next runs of pipe are all laid in here, and Colt's got us a tile run on here. We are going to actually do a couple kind of semi-contour strips in here to try and hold this side hill together here. There's a lot of water that wants to work its way down this hill. So we're gonna kind of contour it up the side of the hill, and then it hits the flat up there. 3 or 4 more passes along the flat, and then we got a couple more that we can do over there. But we're farmer engineering these. We're gonna have to figure out if we have enough pipe to get that all the way over there. So I didn't go dig those holes for fun, but time to pull. I missed the memo this morning to wear a black sweatshirt and brown bibs. Look at these little twins. Cute. Well, here it is, the last run of this project, which is good because apparently the rain's coming. I've still got to set like 4 or 5 inlets, but the pipe's going to be in the ground, so that's good. And all the holes will be closed, so that's good. Just good all the way around. It's good. Very pleased with how this tile has come together. I'll show you guys drone footage after this, but very pleased with that. Now we've got to do the dirt work portions of it, continue it, and get this last tree line knocked out, and then trees moved. Then I think we did a lot of work here. Well, there it is. Alex is wrangling it together. Can he get it? He got it. All right. And we're done. Stop the install, raise her up. Float off, plow up.
Welcome back to the jungle. Little update, what's going on here this morning, besides the dirty camera. Had to run to Seymour to the gas station, get some diesel fuel, because we are officially out of diesel fuel everywhere, seems like. Which, not really sure about that, because we tested the tank at Wayne's the other day, and I think we filled it twice. Ben says we've only filled this truck up once with it, and this tank in the back here, I don't know, it's a pretty big tank. But regardless, it was not pumping fuel this morning. So ran to Seymour, ran all over actually looking for diesel fuel, couldn't find any. So got to see more this morning, got some fuel, headed back, and we are going to put some fuel in the skid loader and get started for the day.
So, as this being the last episode, and what we've got to do is a little bit of dirt work and then move into the removing the rest of these trees. So we are going to be putting in one last terrace. I was thinking about doing 2 terraces, but now that we've pattern tiled out the flats, those flats with the pattern tile will drastically help the runoff situation with that's coming down the hill, because the flat now works like a sponge. It's actually going to drain and work the way that it should. And if that sponge is capable of holding water, as Colt's trying to figure out how
on Friday.
Huh?
Ain't no shot.
He's got soil to pull on Friday, and he's real worried about the ground being kind of hard. He's gonna have bent soil or
have to drink a lot of beer to be on the soil to warm it up enough to get probe in.
Well, then the ammonia and nitrogen levels of your samples will be off.
I'm so screwed.
Anyways, if the flat works, if the flat's saturated, essentially the water's just, think about your sponge in your soil or at your kitchen sink. If your sponge is real wet, at some point in time, it can't hold any more water and the water has to run off somewhere. What we're hoping is that that becomes able to hold a lot more water or process the water a lot more efficiently through the profile. Therefore, when big rain events come, we don't get erosion, and erosion is what causes a lot of the issues that people talk about, you know, fertilizer, nitrates, all that good stuff. So, with that being said, there's one cut that's happening right here that's pretty bad, where we've come up the hill at basically right where this pipe is, and then there's one that starts over there, just on the back side of the skid steer. We're going to build a bump right here, and that should catch both of those. I was thinking about putting another one on that run a little further down the hill, but I really think that we can hold the soil together now that we put those pipes up the hill the way that we have on the contour. So I think that we will most likely let that one ride for right now, because I'd rather not have extra terraces if I don't have to have them. If it needs it next year or something along those lines, I can always come put the inlet in there and build a terrace. But I really don't think that we'll need it. I really don't. I'm betting on that right now. So we're gonna put in one more inlet. Colt, that's scratching himself like a flamingo, can hold the camera.
Got a good itch. It's the good itch.
Did you hear what the birthday party is for the girls now? You haven't heard the theme? It's flamingos. I was told that. And it's flamingos. Which they've already planned this at the end of February.
For the brown girls? January.
End of January.
I'm the last one to know everything in our family, man.
Hey, guess what? That means the person that's second to last found out last night.
I appreciate you relaying the messages that you find out last night. For real though, I'm the last one to know. Every time, all the time. A little hard this morning. When I say a little, I do mean a lot.
I feel like I'm close. I don't know how close.
6 inches, 8 inches. That's like US standard tape measure size too. No, that's funny business.
Okay, so here's my game plan. What I'm gonna do is actually work with the way the water actually wants to go. And this is kind of, it's a hill here where my pickup truck is. Then it comes down and it flattens out because there's been soil deposited here as the water hangs out here. And then the water would come this way and rip down that way, or it would go this way and rip down that way. So what I'm gonna do is use what the water's already done, the work, which is all this dirt right here. And as long as there's a good topsoil here, I'm just gonna take this dirt, bull it out a little bit, kind of pick up the slope of the hill, bull it out, and then flip it back up. So I'm just gonna move the soil and work with the ground to build myself another bump right here, which I'll show you the ones that we've done already. And granted, now we're doing this basic dozer work with a skid steer and an excavator. I don't have a I have a dozer, that D6, but I could probably do this stuff with it, but I think it needs a water pump rebuilt on it, and it's not here. And like we talked about, I don't have a way of moving equipment right now, so it's not necessarily to bring that over here to do that. And we've been able to do it with the skid steer and the excavator. If I had like a little D4 or something along those lines, or a D5 with a 6-way blade, oh, that'd be slick. But we're doing with what we can with what we got. I actually said that right the first time. But that's the plan. Just shape it out and sling it up on the hill and build a bump, and then we're going to cut this ridge that's there out so that that's flat again and get rid of the washes that have been developed there. Game plan, break. Has like any equipment companies like that have blades on the front of their excavators, you know how slick it'd be to be able to like lock your excavator bucket up like this and like lock your pivot table in place, and then like hit like a control deal, like you go from backhoe to excavator or whatever, however they say that stuff, but then switch it to like dozer controls here. Like if you had the blade to be able to switch to like dozer controls quickly with this, you know how slick that'd be? I'd be all about that. There you go. One of you equipment companies, take that idea, run with it. So slick, so that I don't have to do kind of what I'm doing, which Colt's gonna do this once I get this little bit pulled out here so I can see how deep I actually want to go and carry my slope up the hill. So over the years, the dirt's worked its way down here into this waterway, and also the waterway has stopped working because if you look right there at the edge of my bucket, the grass is long, so it's hard to tell, but there's where the water's running. It's not actually even making it into the waterway. So to get the dirt for the top of the hill, what I'm kind of doing is recutting out the middle here, pushing some dirt towards the trench that's formed right there, and then Colt's also carrying the dirt that's been deposited here back up the hill to fill in those two gully washes. That's what we're doing to get the dirt that we need. I'd say this is as good a time as any to get the drone back up in the air and actually start showing you guys what got done on this project. I wish I had a lot of footage of building the terraces, but I do not, for a couple of reasons. One being is that we're having issues with the skid steer. Hopefully that's getting worked on right now. Not sure what's going on with it, but it keeps coating itself out, especially when we're pushing dirt with it. I think the DPF filter might be getting plugged on it, something along those lines. But here we can kind of just walk through with you guys about what all got done on the project. Viewing it right now, you can see the kind of the contoured up the hill tile runs there, and well, you can see the whole project as we spun around. Here's the entrance main, and then what I was calling Tree Islands main. We'll dive down and look closer at the terraces there here in a second. Really happy how these two terraces got shaped up and where they were located and how they got put together. Again, pretty much really happy with the project, other than you'll see here in a little bit, which we'll talk about. Excavator breaks down, and we didn't get quite completely done with the tree removal. This is the big waterway. The big waterway got wrapped up the hill here. We'll dive down. That's the terrace that did not get completely completed because of the skid steer just really falling on its face. Needs to come back in the spring and shape that up. It's working. It did work because it rained at this point in time, and I didn't see any big puddles or anything like that in any of the terraces. So it's working, and in working condition. It's just not as fit and finished as I would like it to be. Here where we're looking at now was where that washout was. That was just about as big as me, height wise, to that I could stand in, basically. So we got the dirt pushed up the hill here, just borrowed some dirt down the hill and filled in that washout. Should hold together. Cleaned up this corner of all the trees and stuff like that. That's the one where Colt was fighting with the skid steer. Now we should be able to farm up along the edge of the tree line there, 60-foot pass to that inlet that you guys are seeing in the middle of your screen. And this is kind of a big, long terrace. On camera, it looks like there might be a substantial amount of a bump there, but realistically, you should be able to just farm right over that. The actual bump of the terrace doesn't start until the bottom of the frame right here, but here's this big horseshoe wraparound terrace leading off the flat there. You guys can see how we put the inlets in there. It'll go around there. It's 90 feet, so not two planter passes, but that's where this terrace wanted to be, which is okay. We can do a planter and a half. It's one sprayer pass. It'll work good. It's still it's on a 3 planter pass for a bean planter for us right now anyways. So it still works. It's farmable, but we can scoot across the flat here. You can see all of the runs that were done. I don't know if I spoke about this or not, but that's on 25-foot centers, is what chose to do here to cover the ground with the pipe that we had. I believe it'll work. Could we have done 20s? Yeah. But I really, again, let's see what these 25s will do. This one, you can see some of the tree lines and where the progress will be pulled out. But yes, speaking of, the excavator breaks down here really soon, and I don't get a good chance to chat about it. Basically, I was pulling trees, and I found a water line marker, and I did do an 811 on this project. They didn't mark that area. I did not hit the water line, but I had to crawl out of there, and I didn't realize that the belly pan of the excavator was open, and since it was open, it actually something came up and broke a fitting, so I was losing hydraulic oil and had to shut the machine down. But this is as far as we'd gotten along. These trees were digging extremely hard because of as dry as we were. I mean, having to fight them out. So hopefully we're going to pull out of there, or we have pulled out of there, and in the spring we can come back and try and get the rest of that fence line out when the trees will dig a little bit easier. I do fly the drone down here to these double outlets to see if they were running any water. I didn't expect them to be, and they weren't. One of them looks like it did run some water there, but nothing too major. But we'll zoom up the hill here to the island terrace, or the tree island terrace that I call it. This is the terrace, and I'm probably, I really liked how this one worked. If this holds together like I think it should, this little area of this farm was kind of a mess. Having the trees out there in the middle of the field didn't make any sense at all, and then there was washes coming down both sides of it. You remember I cut through with the excavator to get it deeper down so that it's not super high up, but you can kind of see how it'll hold water there neatly, and then we'll be able to farm over it. Then as we zing across here, here's the one that I was finishing up there in the last clips that you guys were watching. It still, like I said, needs some fit and finish, some more dirt brought up from the waterway because we were running out of dirt. But the front side of it is working, so it will catch the rains and hold the rains. It's just not as nice on the backside. I'd like to see that a lot more smoother on the backside, and kind of less of the humps that are there. We'll probably get that fixed up in the spring. You could farm it this way if you wanted right now, but like I said, just not to the level that I'd like to have it finished at. But what can you do when the skid steer wants to shut down every single time you actually, try and push any dirt with it? Just doesn't really work. So happy with where the project's at. The pipe in the ground is good. Just Mother Nature's going to shut us out. And there's a big overview picture that you guys can see of what everything got done there so far on this.
Well, it's finally warm enough of a morning that the ground's not frozen extremely hard and solid. So I'm going to run over all of our lines with this little rototiller on the back of this tractor. Crumble all this up so it falls into the hole real nice like. So, see what we can do. So I'll show you why we're doing this. As you can see, these are like just giant, unbelievably not gonna fall back in the hole craters that we've got here, just giant dirt clods. And so by running this tiller here, we're actually making this, we're breaking up these clods to where they can actually go ahead and fall back into our line that we put in the ground. So, help just kind of seal that up a little bit. It should work quite nicely. So, stay tuned. We're getting closer. It's taking forever, but we're getting closer. Got tired of driving over these little rough ass landmines, I promise you that. I got one there, a couple that way. Call it a wrap. Man, it looks nice. In the meantime, there's no trees to speak of left on the road. Kinda, to an extent. Honestly, most of those trees you see right there, well, there's some on our side still, but there's some on the other side too.
That right there is the longest fight I've had with the tree so far. It's a 42-inch bucket. Look at that root ball. It's like, that's like 8 trees into one. Finally got it. Oh my gosh, that was ridiculous. Start getting some of that thinner stuff into the dump truck.
We're gonna need a big push down there on the brush pile because it's like,
I think this thing's done. I think we're toast on this, yeah. Well, we were going, and I had a GoPro. Colt did the grooming here this morning, and I was gonna pick up with you guys when he got done with that. We have Dawn here with us today. Good soup right there, bud. How did they get oil there? Unless it ran down through the tube. That made my guess.
yeah, that's about gotta be it.
By golly, it's got a Hitachi emblem on the motor.
Imagine that.
It ain't no Hitachi. Well, it's the biggest, it's the top one.
That girl.
Yeah, go ahead, keep tugging.
Oh, that's the one. Is that open under there?
No, it's protected here. It's just open there. So here's what we broke on the skid steer. It's $90 plus an O-ring. At $90, they don't give you the O-ring. Just, I'm guessing hit it with a fence post. Do you see how fast Dawn's little Bobcat goes? That thing moves. That thing moves. But I got it ordered. There's a chance that I can see it tomorrow. This thing takes a special oil, so I'll have to get some of that too.
Don and I are moving a tree that was probably planted by George Washington right now. It is older than hell and ginormously huge. We are not getting along very good. We made it a long ways, but we are still a little ways from our pile.
It's getting cleaner. There's a few big trees left. It's looking pretty good. A couple piles. Oh, there goes something hitting my truck. I got a feeling it's going to be a comeback in the spring to pretty it up type of thing. Colt and Dawn got that big tree moved when I wasn't gone. Neither one of them, they didn't have a GoPro. It was like both of them tag team that skid steer. And we still got from here to down there where I was when I found a water line. Well, I didn't hit the water line, but found a marker and then called the rafting company. They're like, hey, you guys didn't mark here. And then they marked it. Well, since I'm out of the game, I decided we might as well try out the dump truck to shuttle some brush, some of this littler stuff. That way they can just load me. I don't know if it's the right thing to do or not, because I can't really haul that much. But it may be enough to, I don't know, we'll find out. They're doing what they can do. I'm 100% gonna have a flat tire. I guess we'll take that. Bobbing and weaving, bobbing and a weaving. was risky.
Action.
Okay, so we're back. This is now after Christmas, and it is snowed and rained like 4 inches, and we've got dogs. So, I've got hoses, and I've got my $90 fitting and my special oil to try and put this gal back together. It's going to be challenging. Molly's here to help me today, but I got to I've got to get these lines pulled through, and I don't think I could do it by myself pulling one line. It's going to have to it's going to be a two-person deal pulling these lines. So the duct tape string that we put in there, I've got to pull out and pull one line through, pull the one line out, pull another line through, pull another line out, shake it all around. That's what we got.
Nice.
There we go.
Yeah, it's pretty tight, isn't it?
Go ahead. Stop. That's why it was so tight for us to go through that zip tie. I'm trying to fight through that zip tie. That zip tie was there. If I knew that zip tie wasn't there, I wouldn't even brought you with me. I thought that would have been a lot tighter. Heck, that's about as easy as it gets now. Yeah. Like,
I thought we were gonna be out here for hours.
no. But like it was tight. Like so when we were pulling that out, it was like Colt and I were like,
because you were fighting the zip tie too.
yeah, because the zip tie was in there, and we couldn't see the zip tie, and I knew there was a zip tie up top. But
that makes sense.
push it. Yeah, you gotta get into a spot that oil just in my eye.
Oh God, are you okay?
You gotta get into a spot where it can go through. Like start it where, like the spot that it can go. There you go. See any leaks? You see any leaks?
No.
Well guys, that's where that video ends. That's where Mother Nature said we were done. And then on top of it, I actually took off to go on vacation. Tried to get this video out to you before I took off, but didn't get it done. I actually was gonna do it a little bit on vacation, but that didn't happen. So now you guys get it anyways. It is winter, blasting, chilly cold out here now in Iowa. Kind of should have stayed on vacation for another week, but we got things to do, which you guys will see here shortly. We'll be at conferences and farm shows the rest of the winter. If you see us, say hi. Oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna go back inside. This project's not completely done yet. You guys will see more footage on it there, but thank you for hanging out with us. Might have been my longest video, I don't know, but adios.